Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions. Some of them aren't technically like new, they're just new to me. I have a few new brands here that I'm really excited to try out. So before we get into it, today's video is kindly sponsored by Deck of Scarlet. So big thank you to them, it means a lot to me. Deck of Scarlet is a brand that I featured on my channel lots before. It is a monthly subscription service and it's really awesome because they alternate between kits like these and palettes like this one I featured on my channel a few weeks ago. So each month they kind of alternate between the two, which I think is really awesome because it always keeps it like nice and fresh and exciting. And it's really nice because they give you a sneak peek of what you're gonna get each month, and if you're not feeling the colors or whatever, you can skip it. And their monthly subscription service goes for $29.95 a month. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. So I already have my moisture and SPF and everything like that down already, and I think I'm just gonna go straight into my foundation just because I feel like my skin feels prepped enough today. So I'm using the Changemaker foundation from Bite in the shade L25. I take a little dollop about that big to begin with, and I'm gonna be applying that with this Artiste brush, and then I'm gonna go over it with my Fenty sponge just so I get a really skin-like finish. And I'm just gonna kind of spot conceal my little spots here with some of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. I did this in my last video with this exact shade and it actually worked pretty well, so I'm just gonna do that again. And I'm just gonna let that chill a little bit, and I'm gonna go in with this Uncover Up concealer from RMS Beauty, and I have the shade 11.5. I haven't tried anything from RMS before. I've been wanting to because they are a clean beauty brand, and I'm just gonna apply it with my ring finger to begin with. Kind of feels like the Glossier Stretch Concealer. Kind of has the same kind of vibe and texture so far, but we'll see if it's as glossy as the Glossier one. And I always like to bring my concealers a little bit higher into this area. I like to kind of correct that darkness in there. I feel like it makes my eyes pop out a bit better once I have like eyeshadow and everything else on. Just gonna go over with my sponge just to kind of blend those edges just in case if there are any. Here, I'll zoom you guys up a little bit. It's almost like, I find it to be a little bit lighter coverage than the Glossier one. Like you can still see my darkness in this area and kind of in the inner portion as well. I'm just gonna try to build that up slightly on the outer portions. I like to have this part really corrected. I don't know how I feel about it so far. I think I do prefer my Glossier Stretch Concealer a little bit more than this one so far. We'll see how it wears and stuff, but upon first application, it's nothing special, I guess. I am going to be setting my little fine lines right under my eyes like I do often, and I'm going to be using my Milk Makeup Blur and Set powder. And I'm just going to take some on my Fenty sponge here, and I'm just going to set in that area and kind of let that chill while I do my brow. For my bronzer, I've been wanting to try out this one from Lila B for forever. I have the shade Be Sun Kissed, and it's kind of an interesting one because it's like dual-sided. One side is like matte and the other side has like a nice sheen to it. It's got some pearls in there, so it gives you like a nice luminous finish. I'm just worried about the color though. I don't know if it's going to be too warm. I feel like that's a nice color, and it looks like it's going to be a nice buildable one as well. Oh, I actually really like that color. It's not too warm at all. Okay, I applied way too much. It is very buildable, but it's pigmented at the same time, so be careful. So I'm just gonna have to take that down. I'm so excited for bronzers right now. I feel like I just ordered two from CoverFX. They came out with a liquid bronzer. I thought they had that before, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different brand. And I also picked up a bronzer version of one of these, so I'm really, really excited to try those out. I don't know what it is about bronzer and blush, but those are like my two favorite parts of doing my base makeup. I feel because it just brings so much life into the skin. I don't know. That bronzer looks really stunning. I love how it's illuminating, but you can't see any glitter or anything like that. It's just like a little tiny pearl in there that just adds like a very natural finish. Ooh, I feel like this is gonna be a well-loved bronzer. Oh. Everything's fine. This thing is like heavy as a rock and I just like launched it like a skipping stone. Next for my highlighter, I'm really, really excited because this product is so beautiful. This is the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in the shade Postmodernist Peach. I've never tried any of the skin finishes from MAC before. I don't know why. I think maybe just because none of them really spoke to me. But this one, just something about it really has. I think the packaging, and I really love how they pressed the product in there. It is so beautiful. I took a really satisfying picture of it the other day. I'll probably include it in here for some texture. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I've tried this out a few times and I really like the effect of it. And I'm gonna be using my Nabla highlighting brush and I'm just gonna go into there. I was surprised the first time I applied this because I thought it was gonna be like a very intense highlighter, but it's a very like natural looking highlighter, but it's still detectable. Like it's not like one of those highlighters that you put on and it's like so see-through that you pretty much wasted your time applying it. It's not one of those, but it just adds such a subtle little kiss of glow without being too obvious. It just makes you look very healthy. I'm a big fan and I love the color of it. Obviously it has two of my favorite tones, golden and peach in one. They actually came out with two shades in this collection. The other one is the shade Hot Dame Wezed d'Avignon and it's like a more intense peach with a very golden reflect to it. This one's a little bit too dark for me to wear as a highlight, but I can use it as like a highlight blush combo together if I applied it like I did with the Natasha Denona one. I'll have to try that out in another video. I think this is the first collection from MAC that I've actually been very, very in love with. None of them have really sparked this much joy for me in forever. I think the combo of this really cool packaging as well as these really well thought out products have just like struck so much inspiration for me. I don't know, I've been using these products like crazy. And something a little bit random in this collection. This is a shade they already had offered, but this is the shade Yash. And this was one of the first MAC lipsticks I ever purchased by myself when I finally got a little bit of money. And when I was first really getting into makeup, I went to MAC and I purchased 4 lipsticks. I got Velvet Teddy, Yash, some kind of peachy one, I forget the name of it, and Stone. Those were the 4 lipsticks I first bought, wore them all the time. The thing I love about MAC the most is that it's just very nostalgic for me. I think that goes for a lot of people because it was very widely available. Anyways, enough about my love about MAC. Now I'm gonna go into my blush and I'm gonna try this one out from K.R. Weiss. This packaging is so heavy as well. This is the cream blush in the shade Desired Glow. I've never tried anything from this brand, but I've been wanting to. This is so silky soft. It feels exactly like butter. Like I'm convinced that this is tinted butter in here, which doesn't sound really fun, but that texture is a good one. So I'm just going to take that on the apples of the cheek. I think I'm just gonna stick with blending it out with my finger today. It looks like it's going on top of the bronzer and highlighter pretty well. I'm happy about that because they are both powders. And I always like to kind of take it a little bit on top of the bronzer and highlighter just to like make everything look like one and kind of all a little bit more natural. This is a nice shade as well. It's kind of unique to my collection. It's just in like a nice orangey nude. I'm also gonna take that on my nose. It's a lot more pigmented than I thought just because of its texture. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more similar to the nude sticks. Why can I almost dropped it right on my white shirt, right on my boob. That would have been awful. I thought this was gonna have more of an effect like the nude sticks Nudies Blooms, but it's not. It does have a nice radiance to it, but it's not like a glossy radiance. It's like a satiny look to the cheeks. I'm gonna try to take a little bit on this brush and I'm gonna bring a little bit on the forehead. I've been loving doing this lately and I feel like it just makes the whole thing look very cohesive. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but I I like it. I feel like my base looks really sun-kissed. I am really into it. And I did get this the tiniest product I've ever seen in my life. This is Freck. This is like made for making like little fake freckles. I was not expecting it to be this small. I want to put it beside something for scale. I need to find something that everyone is kind of familiar with. A Q-tip, let's see. It's crazy. I used this yesterday and I was really impressed with how natural they looked, because usually I like to do my faux freckles with self-tan. I like to put them on a few minutes before I do my makeup, and then it kind of like naturally stains and it's under your makeup, so it looks a lot more natural. But this gives like a very similar effect. So what you do, you just take it and you do these little dots, and then you take your finger and kind of stamp them. And I'm just going to take my sponge and kind of go over them just to kind of sink them into the skin even more. I think this product is really, really fun, but I don't think it's like a necessary product. I feel like you can achieve this with a few other products, but it does make it a lot easier. So here's the little kit from Deck of Scarlet. You get a leather lacquer, this dual-sided shadow stick. I tried this a few days ago, and the formula really reminds me of the Nude Sticks magnetic eye colors, but just in a little bit more of a fun color. And then these lashes that look very intense. I haven't worn really intense lashes in a while, so I'm excited to try that out again. So here is a swatch of the dual-sided shadow stick. So one side has a little bit of a sheen to it and the other is kind of like a matte. And I really like this color. It's like a rusty orangey shade. So I'm thinking like a liner that goes from the matte to the shimmer one might be kind of fun. So I'm going to take this side, the more matte side, and take the Smith 205 brush and just pick it up on this brush to create our wing. I'm just going to follow from right under my lashes because I'm going to be adding this color to my lower as well. And I'm just going to kind of flick it outwards, and I might decide to make it smoky. We'll see. And I'm just going to drag it down, connect that line. It's a nice formula because I'm not getting any dragging or anything, which is really nice. And I'm just going to take a fluffier brush. This is a pencil brush from JULIACFX. I believe it's a number 3. The label has rubbed off, but I'm going to do the same thing, pick that up, and I'm going to kind of smoke it on the lower lash line. And I'm going to bring it halfway, but keep the most pigmentation right on the outer portion. I think I'm going to take this melt brush. This is the 96 brush from them. I'm going to open up the other side and pick this shade up. And I'm going to finish off this wing. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up that JULIACFX brush, just wipe it off a touch, and finish off the inner portion. And I don't like how it kind of curves. I think it looks like a goldfish. I think I'm gonna make it a little bit more flat, and that's really easy to do. Take this brush right here with a little bit of concealer. This is an Anastasia 20 brush, and I'm just going to sharpen up that area. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna cut it like that. I'm going to take my bronzer that I used, and I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is a Smith 232, and I'm just going to take the matte side right here, and I'm just going to throw that into the crease just for some subtle definition, and it's going to tie everything in really nicely. For my inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight, I'm going to take the one I used on my face from MAC, and I'm just going to apply that with my finger. And I might actually add some right here, add some glow. Okay, I'm just gonna go quickly do this eye and I'll be right back. Here is the final eye look with just mascara. I'm going to be applying these lashes. For my mascaras, I use the Milk Makeup one for my top lashes and the Glossier Lash Slick for the lower lashes. Here are the eyes all finished with the lashes. I think the lashes really complement this look very nicely. They're very lightweight and I can't really feel them. I think these are really cute. I was a little bit worried of the shape. I thought they were gonna be a lot more round, but once I trimmed off the edges, they just match this look very perfectly. So now I'm going to move on to the lips. So the lip that came in this kit is this one right here. This is in the shade Power and it's their patent leather lacquer. I wore this the other day and it's a really cool formula. It looks like Britney Spears' outfit that she wore. It's a really nice blue-red. It's like a lipstick and a gloss hybrid. It's really cool. Okay, I actually really like that combo. I feel like this tone really pulled everything together. So here is the finished and final look. I really love how it turned out. So now I'm gonna get into my final thoughts about everything I tried out today. Okay, so I'm gonna first start off with all the things that really excited me and things I see myself using lots. The first one I want to talk about is the Lila B bronzer. I think this is a really stunning bronzer. I'm really excited to use this more. I love the tone of it. I was initially worried that it was gonna be too warm, but I think the finish and everything is very beautiful. It was nice and blendable and buildable as well. I see myself getting a lot of use out of this. It is a very beautiful product and their packaging always kills me. It's so beautiful. Next, I really love the MAC skin finish in the shade Postmodernist Peach. I've been absolutely loving this highlight. It's just so stunning. I love how it catches the light in such a subtle way. It just makes you look like really healthy and glowy. When I first received this, I thought it was gonna be a little bit glittery because when you swatch it, it kind of looks like a lot of different sizes and shimmers, but on the cheek, the pearls really blend themselves and really like polish. So it just makes you look like a nice even sheen, which I really love. I see myself using this like crazy. For the Kjaer Weis blush, I am really excited about this. I love the formula because it's so buttery and creamy and thin, but it has a really lovely payoff. It's very pigmented, and I also love how luminous it is on the cheeks without feeling greasy or like a cream on the skin. Like it's not sticky whatsoever. It feels like set and it doesn't feel like it's gonna slip and slide all over. So I'm really excited about it. And I was just taking a peek and there's a little hole back here. So it looks like you could refill these, which would be incredible. I'll have to look into that. But so far, really excited about this formula. I really love this nude tone. I feel like this is gonna be one of those blushes I go towards when I don't know which tone I want to go for. Steve's trying to get the catnip, so if you hear scratching. My last favorite was definitely this kit. It got me to step out of my comfort zone. I feel like these are tones that I would never really pair together myself, especially with like such a bold lip with this orangey shade. It's just something I would never pick out myself, but I'm really happy I did because I really love how it turned out. I really love the shimmer and the matte formula in this pencil because there was no dragging whatsoever and it was really easy to blend and it was very pigmented. I did go in a little bit sheer at first, but it built up beautifully and it didn't get chunky or clumpy or anything. It's just, it remained smooth. And I really love this lip color because it's a gloss. And I think glosses are beautiful because they always make you look like you have a little bit more juice in there. But so I find it really tricky to find a nice opaque, non-streaky gloss like this. And this one is great. And I really like the tone because it's not like a orangey red. It has a touch of blue in there. So I think it's a lot more flattering for me. And it's a really nice non-sticky formula. And it's very lightweight on the lips. It doesn't feel thick at all. Next, for the products I don't see myself using too much or I didn't really find to be very exciting. First, starting off with Freck. I think this is so freaking small. Like I'm gonna lose this. I just know I'm gonna lose it. I feel like this is one of those products that you can use something else to achieve the same look. I think I'm still gonna be using this, but it's just so small and I just think like you can achieve the same look with a lot of different products. So this product isn't gonna be like a super standout product in my collection. I might forget about it because it's so tiny. And lastly, the last product I am not super impressed by as of right now is the RMS Uncover Up Concealer. I think it's a little bit too similar to the Glossier Stretch Concealer, but the Glossier Stretch Concealer actually covers up what I want it to, like on the outer portions and everything. It does a good job at color correcting. I do want to give this a few more chances. For my first time using it, not the most impressed by it as of right now. I will give it credit that it's not creasing in any way. Here, I'll give you a good close-up. It does have a nice sheen under there. It just still has a little bit of depth right here that I don't really love, and in this portion right here. So I will try it out for my no makeup days. Maybe this is where this will shine, but right now, not my favorite. That is all for me today, you guys. I just want to say another huge thank you to Deck of Scarlet for sponsoring today's video. It means so much to me. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. It would help me out so much. I'll make sure to list all the products I used in the description down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!